Topic number two today, we are talking the favorite topic of I think everyone in the college sports world, tournament expansion. Make it
Woo!
100 teams, make it 150. Honestly, let everybody in. Honestly, let everybody in and send the last 10 teams to the crown. But outside of that, on all serious note, NCAA president says that expansion is coming. There's been suggestions that it could be 72 teams, suggestions that it could be 76 teams. This is expanding from the 68 teams that currently make the field of 68. I think y'all should get out there and get ahead of this. Maybe get those Twitter names locked down right now because it might be changing. Ralph, I don't think I've ever even gotten your thoughts on tournament expansion. So this is going to be a fun learning experience for me. What do you take about or what do you take away from tournament expansion? Are you a fan of it? Are you not a fan of it? Does it need to be done a certain way? Where are you at with it?
I hate it. Are we trying to get all 16 SEC teams in next year?
Yeah, I've always told myself we need to expand this because I really want Indiana to be in the tournament, you know?
Here's the thing too. Technically, maybe not now with the expanded conferences and how not everybody makes the conference tournament, but technically everybody starts March with a chance to win the national championship. So if you want to expand this thing out, right? Let's go through this. Like, expand it out to the entire Division One makes the NCAA tournament. Right, 364 teams last year. That's a big tournament, right, Cart?
Yeah.
Logistically, you have to break that down to subsections, right? You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
There's no other way. So you break it down in subsections, subregions that are typically regionally aligned just for travel, again, logistics, right? You call them conferences. You call them regions. You call them conferences. You play through that, and then the winners get to keep moving on, right? So you win your region, you move on to another tournament, you win your conference. We'll call it that. Move on to another bigger bracket where again you have less teams now, so you can move forward. Does this sound like conference tournaments than the NCAA tournament?
Yeah, like why are we touching good things?
Like it's a money grab, but I would legitimately wonder how much more money you're going to get from adding 4 or 8 more mid-level teams.
Yeah. I mean look at and for me, one, I just the thought of adding other teams because it is a money grab just annoys me in general, but at the absolute heart of its core, I want to do this kind of live last year. Are we able to look up what teams just missed the tournament last year? Like what team or just think on the top of your heads, on the top of your head, what team did we miss out on seeing in the tournament last year? Like SMU didn't make it? Like
Yeah,
what
Wake Forest.
yeah, like do we want to give Steve Forbes another like just what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're now. I want to say this. I'm completely against tournament expansion. I think 68 is fine. I think there are ways you should redo the first four even to make it a little bit better.
Hmm.
That being said, if we are going to 72 or 76, I think we need to put some parameters in place in order to make this more fun. Because I do think there is the opportunity to make the first, it's not going to be the first four anymore, but those first games on Tuesday and Wednesday in Dayton, if they all end up in Dayton or wherever, make them more fun, which I do think could add value to the tournament.
Hmm.
If you were to take, how many teams is that from 64? Right? Like 8 more or 12 more,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
If you were to take that and have them be mid-major versus power conference games. I think that works. And if you have it as a true play-in, I think that works. Like keep your 16 seed games because I understand that the desire to um, give the smaller conferences an NCAA tournament unit for winning a game. I love that, and also just 16 seeds, we can kind of get some of those teams out of the way. I think that's great. But if we get like 2 years ago, Indiana State going up against like Oklahoma to play in as a 12 seed to me is much more appealing because you gave that the Robbie Avila Indiana State team a chance as opposed to giving the 11th place team in the Big Ten, who went five and whatever in conference play, another opportunity. I think if you did that and like basically gave more access to some of the smaller conferences for those at large spots, I think that could be a lot of fun. I just have zero faith that's what's actually going to happen with this.
Yeah, and look, that's the main thing because I'm against tournament expansion. If I was team tournament expansion, it would have to be done right. Like you laid out a bunch of ways that would be done right. If it gets expanded, it's not going to be done right. They're just going to expand it, add more teams, more games, more TV, more money, more Steve Forbes on our TV probably because they'll be on the bubble. Like that's really all it's going to amount to be. And I think the thing that sucks is that it's going to happen, right? Like
Oh yeah,
it's inevitable. Like they are
yeah,
going to add more.
yeah. I don't know if it's inevitable to happen like next year or what have you, but it's inevitable that it's going to happen at some point. There's not this kind of momentum for it to just die.
Yeah, eventually we're going to be looking at a massive team. Last thing I'll ask on this topic, what is the number that's your breaking point, Ralph, as far as tournament teams that are in?
Honestly, I think 68 is fine.
But
Like
what's the breaking point that gets you to the front door of the NCAA tournament office and you're like, you got to stop this. Like I'll go on a hunger strike, Gandhi style, if you don't stop this.
90 something, like the 96 team proposal or whatever that's come out. So the first four out this past year were West Virginia, who probably should have made it, right, based on their overall resume, but I don't think any of us would have picked them to win a game. Indiana, Ohio State, and Boise State. I'm not clamoring to watch those teams play more basketball.
That's very true. And it's not a one for one exercise, but I'll say this. You go look at the teams that are in the 90s on Ken Palm. Man, were we missing out last year on some of those teams that could have made it. Truly. I mean, we got TCU, we got LSU, Georgetown, Bradley, Florida State, Chattanooga. I mean, they were all up in here. We missed out on some really, really good hoop. Providence, hey, I see you down there. Uh, we missed out on some good hoop, man. We missed out truly.
I understand the appeal to go get like more money and increase the tournament. Like I understand that. My biggest thing with the way we treat the NCAA tournament, we often forget it is crowning a national champion. That is the purpose of this tournament, is to crown a national champion.
Hmm.
It is not to get in the tournament and have coaches get bonuses. It's not to have as many first round games as possible because that's the most fun weekend in all of sports, which it is. It's to crown a national champion. I talk about this every year when like West Virginia got left out, and there's always a team that feels like they should get in, or teams that feel like they should get in. If you are complaining because you were picked as the 69th best team instead of 68th, you don't have a case because you're competing for a national championship. No other place is like, hey, I'm number 69, I should be in. No other place is that a real thing. That's a viable argument. It's all about getting in the tournament, not winning a championship. I think we need to put the focus back on like what's the cutoff of teams that can actually win a championship, actually go on a run, as opposed to just trying to get as many teams in as possible because it's just more games the first day.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and I'm gonna have to mentally prepare myself for expansion because it is gonna happen. And you know what else that's gonna do for us, Ralph? We do game by game previews, so we're gonna add more recordings for us. So get
Yeah,
ready.
more. These are the top seeds in the NIT as well. SMU, Dayton, San Francisco, and UC Irvine.
Okay, respect my anteaters. But everybody else, I could honestly
But
do
see,
it.
if you're going to expand, put UC Irvine in and have them play West Virginia or have them play Indiana. Right. That's how you make this fun. Let San Francisco go play. Who was in the play in this year? Who was in the first
San Diego State, UNC.
have them go play North Carolina, right? Like that. That's fun. That adds it keeps the not integrity, but keeps the spirit of what makes that opening weekend so fun. Is the David and Goliath keeps that. I think that's the only way you could really make that expansion a little bit more palatable.
Honestly, Ralph, I'm gonna do everything I can to get you in front of the NCAA president because you got all the answers, and we'll make it
Thank you.
happen.